Hello, Charlene here, and this is the LinkedIn Success Workshop series. It's 3 parts, and this week I have the first part where I'm going to show you how to create LinkedIn content that is going to actually bring in a weekly flow of potential clients for you. And if you do happen to miss one of the other two workshop series, don't worry. If you've signed up for this, then you will get all 3 at the end. But I do hope to be able to see you live because you can ask your questions. Just drop them into the comments. I'm super happy to try to answer as many as I can during this live stream. So let's dive right in, and let me bring it up. Here we go. Like I said, we are going to show you how to bring in a weekly flow of potential clients from your LinkedIn. And actually, I'm sorry, because I don't usually do workshops. I generally do slightly shorter form content. I have to do my little intro since we are just about to get started. Hello, I am Charlene Tessier, founder of Strength in Numbers. I'm helping you to attract motivated prospects to your coaching business using a unique combination of LinkedIn and live streaming. And today in our workshop, we are talking about bringing in potential prospects, potential ideal clients through our LinkedIn content. And it doesn't matter how much content you're producing right now. Maybe you're not producing any content. Maybe you just do it on and off. Maybe you don't know what you should be creating and saying to your audience. Maybe you're pumping out once or twice or regularly 3 times a week, but you're finding that nobody's reaching out to you. So let's fix that today. And I'm going to show you in 3 steps how to do it really simply. Now, first of all, this is my little friend. He's my little hamster friend here. And I don't know about you, but when I started posting content on social, I felt like I was this little hamster just grinding away day in, day out, putting out all this content. And for what? What kind of result was I getting? And I just was really kind of frustrated and tired that I seem to be spinning myself like a little hamster on this wheel and not really getting very far. But we often feel that we have to kind of play that game, especially if we have an online business and we want to attract clients from all over the world. And I happen to have clients from all over the world, and it has been an amazing experience. And so we spend our time, of course, on LinkedIn and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, posting, commenting, following, trying to engage, trying to get more people to engage in our group, or trying to get more comments. And what we're going to be talking about is how you're going to be able to use your ideas and this really great content in a very targeted way that's going to actually attract those clients to you, especially on LinkedIn. And this isn't going to be your usual or typical that you see content planner. To be honest, I find those don't work very well, and I'm going to tell you more about that. First, let me share a little bit about myself. I actually started with an offline business 4 years ago. It was hyper local, it was located actually in Vancouver, Canada, and it was doing pretty well. And then I actually had my daughter. And when I gave birth to my daughter, I decided that I wanted to move my business online because I thought it would give me more freedom and flexibility. And I thought it would just be easier. Also, we decided to move from Canada to Germany, where I'm currently based. And so I kind of had no choice but to get my business online. And in the beginning, I thought, you know what? I really like LinkedIn. I was an advocate of LinkedIn since the very early days when it was just a glorified resume. And I was been on it since all of its platform evolutions. And I believed, and I still believe, that my audience really does live on LinkedIn. And that's a perfect place for me to attract them and to bring them into my world. Well, I spent a lot of hours and a lot of thousands of dollars trying all kinds of LinkedIn strategies. I did the commenting, I tried the group, I tried the direct message strategy. I've tried all kinds of things, and maybe you have too. And I don't know about you, but at the end of 2 years, I had a cold list of 50 people. And after doing all kinds of strategies, spinning my wheels, I still had that same cold list of 50 people. And I don't know about you, but I was so frustrated and really disappointed and wondering, is this for me? Is having an online business for me? And have you ever tried some kind of social media kind of strategy, spin out all your wheels, put in all your effort, and not really get a result? Yeah, I know how it feels. Well, I decided that I was going to do something different. And I kind of threw out a lot of the ideas that were kind of coming into me. And I started testing essentially. I started doing very specific things on LinkedIn in a very specific way. And I started actually seeing results. And I was actually kind of surprised because by following all these kind of LinkedIn gurus, nothing really ever happened for me. And all of a sudden, when I started doing what things that I saw results from and I continued to do it and just improve upon it, things actually started looking up. Something happened after a few months of doing this is that somebody reached out to me and direct messaged me on LinkedIn asking me about my services and if they could do a call with me. And I don't know about you, but I was really shocked. I was like, whoa, after 2 years of spinning my wheels, dumping in all this time, and nothing ever really happened, somebody reached out to me and wanted to know about my services and they wanted to know about how I was doing LinkedIn live streaming and finding clients on LinkedIn. And I thought, wow, I must have just got lucky, right? This is probably going to happen to me once. It's never going to happen to me ever again. But that wasn't the case. In fact, since I've been continually doing what I have been doing on LinkedIn, and I'm going to be sharing with you some of those tips and tactics today, I have been getting a regular flow of leads to my list every week, at least five. And that might sound very low, but doing it with almost no effort, 5 leads a week from cold traffic like LinkedIn is really, really amazing. And from that, I usually get at least one direct message a month asking me about my services or even connecting with all kinds of amazing partners where I've been able to partner with them and reach into their audiences. And I've just been kind of growing my list this year, especially. It has been kind of exploding in that every month. Right now, I'm kind of at around 50 new leads a month. That's crazy, crazy. And the effort I put in is really, really low in comparison to what I used to do. And all of this should not take you hours, right? Social media should not be consuming your entire life because you are busy. You've got a lot of things to do in your business, and you want to do the things that are most important, like servicing and making sure those clients that you do have are getting results. And you don't want to spend all of your time chasing people around on LinkedIn. So, in this workshop, I am going to show you the 3 steps on how to create content that actually brings in a weekly flow of potential clients. And the first thing we're going to talk about is our goal. What is our goal for creating content? Our second step is how to make it sustainable because, like I said, you don't want to be spending hours and hours. I call this the lazy ladies approach. That's my approach. And sometimes I'm up and I'm really aggressive, and the other times in a maintenance mode, and that's okay. As long as you're maintaining in a maintenance mode that's very lightweight for you, you can keep this going. And when you have time, you can do ramp ups and do blitzes. And I'm going to show you how to do it in a very sustainable way that actually does bring in leads every week to your list. And third, how to, of course, attract those clients and how to leverage using LinkedIn content in a way that's very time management efficient. So let us get started. The first thing I want you to really think about is the goal. What is our goal for being on LinkedIn and posting content? Is your goal there to fill up that content calendar with 5 days a week of content? And if you do a Google search for a social media content calendar, you will find an endless list of all kinds of templates, all kinds of idea lists, calendars, etc., etc. And I've tried many of these, and for me they are just so unsustainable. But we have to take a step back and think about why are we wanting to fill up our calendar with content? What are we really trying to achieve? Who are we really wanting to attract on LinkedIn? And defining those goals first will ensure that you create content that talks to the particular audience who will be attracted to your offers and services on LinkedIn. Not all audiences will be attracted to your service offering um, if it is not targeting the people who are possibly not on LinkedIn. So let me give you an example of this. Um, I had a person reach out to me recently who wanted to use LinkedIn to target essentially parents. And when I think about LinkedIn, I'm not saying that there isn't parents there. Of course, these people who are doing business on LinkedIn are parents. I'm a parent. Many of you are probably parents. But when we think about LinkedIn, do we think about offering services to parents like maybe baby clothes? Or would I go to maybe Pinterest or Instagram to find and seek out a service provider there? Right? Or maybe even Facebook. So I'm not saying that LinkedIn isn't for you. I'm saying LinkedIn could be for you, but it really depends on the person and who it is you want to attract. Now, if this person happens to provide and create an exclusive line of, let's say, organic um, clothing for sensitive children, and they want to get them into boutique stores, of a baby line stores, then going to LinkedIn and finding those owners and partners who would be a great match for you would be an excellent source. But going to the direct consumer on LinkedIn would not be really getting very good uptake. So I would like you to really think about, just because your business is possibly B2C, which many of my clients have, it's not that your client isn't on LinkedIn. It's that we need to speak to those who would actually be seeking out your services there on LinkedIn. And if you think about it, doing a sale from yourself to one, parent is wonderful, but wouldn't it be nice to do a sale to a baby line shop who's going to buy a certain amount of monthly inventory on a regular basis, or maybe even owns a small chain of 2 or 3 stores? So think about who it is you are actually targeting and talking to on LinkedIn. That is the one of the biggest mistakes most entrepreneurs and online coaches make when using LinkedIn, is that who they are speaking to is not the right person or not quite in alignment of who they're searching for. And when we're on LinkedIn, we are sort of saturated with noise there, right? It is a very noisy space, just like any other social media. And those who are coming on to LinkedIn are being flooded with messages. And that's not only a place they're being flooded, right? They're being flooded from YouTube, from Facebook, from Twitter, from their email, day in and day out. And so, how are we going to really ensure that your content is going to stand out? We also want to think about, what do we want to achieve there, right? I'm sorry, I got a little sidetracked. And that what we want to achieve is, do we want to have a lot of comments? Do we need to have a lot of reactions, likes, and things like that? Do we have to have a lot of followers? You do need some connections and some followers, but you don't need as many as you think. With even 1,000 or 3,000, you can actually do really well and continue to grow it at a very steady and regular pace. However, always remember, this is important, and I think this is one of the biggest mistakes. Again, always remember, from the biggest mistakes here, is that don't focus on what we call the vanity metrics. Comments and reactions and even followers, and sorry to say even connections, are really just vanity metrics. Vanity metrics mean that they don't really directly correlate to you bringing in sales. I don't have a very large following. I don't have tons of comments. I don't have a lot of engagement, but I do have a lot of views. And I still have people reaching out to me, because people consume the content. Just because they don't want to comment, they don't want to react, it doesn't mean that they aren't watching my stuff day in and day out. And so don't be dismissive of that. Oh, it looks like my followership is low. What really matters at the end of the month, at the end of the day, is did somebody direct message you today? Did they direct message you this month? Did they reach out to you and start a one-to-one direct message conversation, or maybe even hop on a call? Then you have already surpassed, I would say, like 80% of the people on social media who don't get any direct messages or any real conversations going with potential clients. And if you got at least one a month, you are way ahead of many, many people, because many will say that you can't get clients on LinkedIn. And that is actually not true. You can, because you're going to be building relationships through your content. And the biggest mistake is to focus on the wrong thing. And our main goal, and my main goal on LinkedIn, is to really use my content to bring them more into my world and to get them onto my email list. And I have a lot of lead magnets there, and I'm going to talk a bit about that in a little bit. But it really isn't, for me, I don't care how many followers I have. I don't care how many comments I have. All I care is that every week, 5 or 10 people join my list. That for me is a metric that's super important. If that number dips and it isn't growing, there's something wrong. I need to change something. If I don't get 1 to 2 direct messages a week, a month or a week, something is not happening here. But if I'm getting at least one a month and I'm getting at least 10 leads, this is a chance for me to bring them more into my world and to nurture them, and for you to do the same and to bring them to your world and nurture them. And really, the content we are creating is to build relationships. That is the whole goal, is that to start building a relationship. This is just like in LinkedIn, it's like window shopping, right? They're on their feed, they're scrolling fast, they are just glossing over it very quickly, and getting them into your list is a way to start building the relationship and to start moving towards getting more clients. Now let's do this in a sustainable way. Get your pen and pencil ready. This is how we're going to do it. It is not our usual, content calendar like we saw when we did the Google. That is just horribly unsustainable. We're going to do it in a super easy way. And you probably have seen things like this. You've seen, like, on the second day, I'm going to talk about this. On the fourth day, I'm going to do this. On the ninth day, to be honest, I cannot manage that. I cannot keep that up, and for me, it's also a little bit unrealistic. It's just not sustainable. So when I see stuff like that, I just feel like slamming my head against the table. I don't know about you. And this, what I'm going to show you in just a minute, has been the only way that I've been able to keep maintaining my content on LinkedIn, even at a minimum of 2 or 3 times a week with very, very little effort. I do it like an hour for the whole month, actually. And I can even, if I get myself a little bit more organized, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, then I can even do 5 days a week easily in 2 hours, map it out. And I'm going to show you how I do that. So we're going to do that in 3 easy steps. Let's get started with the first step, which is themes. So what I do is I decide on 4 high-level themes. This makes it very easy for me to kind of generate ideas and content and not have to stress about what am I going to talk about today and tomorrow and the day after that. By having a higher level theme, you are able to talk about the things that are important to your audience. So for an example that I do is the first week of the month, I talk about live streaming. The second week, I talk about content hacks. And the third week, I talk about LinkedIn hacks. And then the fourth week, I talk about, I forgot what I actually talk about. It was communities. Do I talk about community? I think so. Or, sorry, no, I talk about how to attract your client to you. That's what we're talking about today. And those are just the high level themes. And then from that, of course, I can spin off and do a brainstorm and generate all kinds of ideas and all of that, blah, blah, blah. We all know how that kind of works. But this is a slightly different approach. And that is, what I actually do is I have a weekly high level theme. So let's say we're going to do the theme of a LinkedIn tip, LinkedIn hack. And the hack I'm going to teach you is how to put a small introduction video inside of your profile picture. that week. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something called an anchor content post. Now, there are different types of posts, right? There's a text post. You've seen that, text with image, a live stream like this, or a recorded video, which is not live, the slideshows. You'll see polls or people putting questions. You'll see people putting tips, or doing repurpose quotes, all kinds of things. And these are all kinds of different kinds of content. I'm sorry, it's a little bit small. So it's still a little bit small. I'll have to give that to you guys a little bit bigger next time. But essentially, there's different types of posts. And if you choose a style that is a type of post that has a very high repurpose rate, you would be able to do a lot with that. So the ones that I find that work the best for this type of content planning is a video, live stream, article. Now, a post, when you write up something really quick, that is not an article. When you have long form over 1,500 words, that's an article, and that goes under articles in your LinkedIn. And those tend to have a little bit more longevity and easier for us to use for this type. For this example, I'm going to use a live stream, and you can do text based like article, but remember, it's got to be long form, 1,500, 1,600. Anything less than that, this won't work. So let's go to our next little step here. Then we've got the days of the week, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And what did I say? The theme is LinkedIn hack. And I'm going to do an anchor of that. And that anchor is going to happen on Wednesday. The anchor for me is a live stream. That's what I call the anchor type post. And it's about how to put your little video and a little headshot there. And so what I'm also going to do is now start mapping it out. But we aren't going to map out content exactly yet. I've got a little magnet here. I'm going to actually just skip over that for 1 second. And on Friday, what I'm going to do is from my live stream, since I do tend to sketch out a little few points, is create a short form post that is essentially talking about the same thing that I talked about on Wednesday about the anchor post, about putting that little video, right? And on Tuesday, I'm actually going to poll. I'm going to poll and ask people how many know how to put that little video, or how many have put that little video, or how many feel that video has impact, whatever. But essentially, whatever I talked about on Wednesday, I talk about it in different angles throughout the week. And you can do it in multiple ways. You can fill up the week very easily without having to think about Monday, what am I going to talk about? Okay, I'm going to talk about this LinkedIn tip. And Tuesday, what I'm going to talk about? I'm going to talk about this LinkedIn tip. That makes it very difficult for you to do it quickly. If you have one theme, one topic, subtopic for the week, you can create all kinds of content. You can create an image with, or I could create a little GIF showing people just how to do it step by step really quickly in a short video, or just a GIF kind of doing it, or a slideshow, right? So there's many ways to give it the same content in many different formats. And some people, they are a little bit worried, saying, well, isn't that going to be boring for people who are watching my stuff? They're going to see the same thing every single day. That's not true, because we don't know when LinkedIn is showing what to whom. And therefore, even though for you it seems like, oh, it's the same thing 5 days in a week, the same subtopic with different formats, it is not delivered out in that way to your audience. It's all jumbled in. They don't know. They see stuff that's 2 weeks old, 3 days old, 5 days old, and a whole mess. So for them, it's going to be looking very random. And for you, you get to ease off and have that make it very easy for you. And essentially taking all these type of content posts, you can generate so many variant ideas on one theme, one sub theme, and that's it. It doesn't take a lot of time. Actually, before we go to the attract, I want to go back to my magnet. This little guy here. Oh, right here. See this magnet here? This is a bonus pro tip for you guys, in that if you want to have leads coming to you once a week, pretty much on autopilot, if you want to do the bare minimum, and this is when I'm super busy, and that's what I do, is I stream once a week on Wednesday, and on Monday, I post a lead magnet, and I get leads every week. Because if you aren't letting people know about your lead magnet, they aren't possibly coming to your profile and therefore not discovering you. But if you put your lead magnet into your LinkedIn post once a week, you can set it up in Buffer, set it and forget it. You can set the whole month. You can test one lead magnet on cold traffic and really get that lead magnet, which can be amazing for later on, because if you can get it really converting high on cold traffic, watch what it can do on warm and hot. It's just amazing. And what's a good conversion rate? Well, if it's converting at about 20% a month, so 30%, that's pretty good. Mine convert currently between 40 to 50%. So that is really high on cold traffic. And it didn't work me doing it the first time. That lead magnet that I have that's converting at that high rate has been tested. And I just post it week after week after week after week. And I see what happens. And after 4 weeks, I see how it converted in the month. And then I maybe change the title or I change a bit of the copy, and I essentially keep improving it till it becomes a very juicy and high converting lead magnet. And you can do that and you will see those leads climbing every month. And it's actually very rewarding and happy experience that we can get on social that we can't get for many other things. We are down to the third step. We are almost there. That is, of course, we want to now attract them. They are coming into our lists. And what I really, really would like you to take away from this, if you take away nothing else at all, is really make sure that you are measuring the things that matter. And the only two things that really, really matter that you got to measure on social is that people are coming into your list every week and every month. People are direct messaging you every month. That's it. All the followers, all the likes, all the comments isn't going to convert into customers if you aren't getting leads to your list every month and you aren't getting direct messages to your list every month, direct messages every month. And that can be not only from potential customers, from potential partners or people who want to collab or do joint venture partnerships. And that also is an amazing source for being able to grow your business. Then you know you're doing it right and the content you're producing is doing its job. And always remember that social media is about, and LinkedIn and the content we're creating is about one thing: relationships. Creating a relationship with those who want to come more into our world and to be helped in solving the problem that they're trying to solve. So far, we've talked about what really is the goal of social media, what are we doing there, and why are we doing it, and what's important to focus on, and really targeting a specific audience that would be interested in our services on LinkedIn. I showed you in 3 easy steps a sustainable content plan that generates literally endless ideas with a minimal effort and minimal time. And I spoke about how to attract those clients, how to use your content to attract clients, and to make sure that you measure the right thing for your business to ensure that it's actually working and that you are making good use of your time on social media. And and measure, improve, and repeat. That's what you got to do essentially. That's the uh most important thing you can do, is just keep moving it ahead. Now, if you are trying to attract some clients on LinkedIn and you're not really getting success and you're not seeing the results you would like to see, I invite you to direct message me on LinkedIn and let's start a conversation, and uh, maybe even hop on a call where I will help you to lay out a roadmap for your success on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm just going to just double check the comments there. If not, if you're watching the recording, you can drop those comments down in the below as well. And I thank you very much for being here. This is a quick, short 30 minutes part of your day. And I invite you to the next two workshops. There are 3 in total. So I invite you to all 3, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Oh, thanks. No worries that you were late and that it was thought it was on Zoom. I did do it a little bit differently. And yes, there is a replay so that you can listen to it again, and it will be available to you after all three are done, because that will be easier for me. And thank you, Shella, as well, for being part of this. And I'm happy that you enjoyed this little workshop. And I'll see you guys next Thursday, same time, same channel.